doing some research, and I was actually preparing a video about open source and GitHub.
While doing some online research, I came across the work of this young man, and I was so impressed, I wanted to reach out to him for an interview. He obliged. However, he is not comfortable with showing his face or letting you hear his voice. He is in Cameroon, Africa, and his native language is French. He speaks English, and to me, he speaks it very well, but he's very self conscious about his lack of English, his perceived lack of English, at least. So, respect of his wishes, I will not show his face, and I will just tell you what he says when I ask him questions.
Etiquette and good practices, and I came across your GitHub. Actually, I saw your LinkedIn post first, where you announced that you completed this Instagram clone.
Yeah.
And I was one of the many people asking for the source code. And when I looked at the source code, I was very, very impressed at your documentation. And I wanted to use your repo as a good example about how to format a repo, especially one that is production ready. You covered all bases. You included a license. You showed screenshots. You gave links to your contact information, and you listed any issues. All those basic things are left out by a lot of developers on GitHub.
At this time, he tells me that he recently joined GitHub.
I can It's complicated. It's so complicated for me to explain. But maybe.
No pressure.
I hope you follow me as.
I do. You have joined GitHub a few months ago because people explaining to you the importance of having some public
Exactly,
repos,
exactly.
but
Exactly.
you still have many private repos on GitLab.
Exactly.
There's several alternatives to GitHub, like GitLab, and there's some more. But GitHub is like the main one that is for open source code that the software developer is saying, you have my permission to use this software. Now, what was your motivation for making your Instagram clone?
Basically, put curiosity. He was intrigued by the design of Instagram and wanted to know exactly how it worked and how to replicate it.
That's reverse engineering, basically, and it's a great way to learn. It's one of my preferred ways to learn as well. I like to pick apart a project and see how it works, so I can learn, and that's awesome.
Thanks.
Now, does it have all of the functions? I haven't had time to install it or try to run it locally myself.
No, there's not all of functions.
Okay.
There is it's just
His Instagram clone doesn't actually work. It's just the UI, which is the user interface.
That's just as important. I mean, what use is it without a front end? So that's still a major accomplishment. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I'm trying to find it so I can share it, put it on the screen. You wouldn't happen to have the link handy, would you?
Please.
Thank you. So you have been doing software engineering for 3 years and you have a master's degree. Uh-oh. Come back. Hey,
Okay.
I thought I lost you.
I think I have made some wrong manipulation here.
It's okay. Okay. I wanted to, like I said, put the code on the screen. It was in what?
I didn't understand the question.
Oh, so how did you start after post-secondary school, like high school? What was your bachelor's degree in?
Computer science too.
Okay. Okay. That's what I figured. Now this is the repo,
Yes.
and already I'm very impressed because you have one issue listed, and
I have a guy who told me that she have an issue with the window platform. And I answer him.
okay, all right. Also, I look at when I'm looking at a repo, um, to evaluate whether it's something I want to download and run the code. Like before wasting my time, I look at certain things. So I see, are any issues documented? And at least one is to be expected. I mean, software engineering is very complicated. So that doesn't mean it doesn't work if there's an issue. I mean, it's just important to document everything. Okay.
Okay,
I look
thanks.
at how many commits, and you've been very active. There's 24 commits. So this isn't your initial upload. You've uploaded it and been making improvements at least 23 times. It has an MIT license, which means that it's free to use. I'll just read it for benefit. A short and simple permissive license with conditions only requiring preservation of copyright and license notices. Licensed works, modifications, and larger works may be distributed under different terms and without source code. So it's permitted for commercial use, modification, distribution, and private use, as long as the license is kept in the file of the app, right? I'm asking, you don't mind people using this for their own benefit, right?
First of all, when I was generating this license, I wasn't care about selling this, so about this kind of people. But it's after generating this that I have talked about what you are saying, about what you are saying. So I will update the license. I will update the license, and I will make another comment on it.
Yeah. Well, then, yeah, you would need to do that as soon as possible. Change your license, and then, just make it known, because that protects you legally. And I mean, if people are going to use it, it would be nice if they would ask you first, come to you and ask you first. But still, with that MIT license, they don't really have to. You understand?
Okay. Yes, I understand. I can understand.
Now, I also look for the README, which is going to be a markdown file, and whatever you put in the README should tell you exactly how to install it, if nothing else. And you not only have that, but you have preview GIFs. So you don't have to install it to see what it looks like, how it works. it's very detailed, and you're giving us a
In fact,
lot.
I did this because that's how I will like to see when I am going to a new repository, because sometimes when you are searching for something on GitHub, you are sometimes face the repository with no description, no idea of what the app is doing. There is nothing. There is really nothing. So when I make some work on GitHub, I will be I'm trying to be more expressive, more clear as I can. So that's why I have made this like this.
Exactly. And I appreciate it, and I know others will as well. And then at the bottom here, how to get started. You give instructions exactly on how to
To run
clone
it.
and install. So yeah, that's awesome, and it's something that everybody should do. Um,
Yes.
I can.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
I don't usually do this, but when I'm impressed enough with a repo, I click on the profile of the developer to learn more about them and see if I'd be interested in more of their work. Obviously, I was impressed here, and I take a look at his profile with him, telling him what impressed me about it and how he could improve it to get even more attention.
Um, you say you build apps with React Native, React.js, Android, Swift, and Node.js. That's good. It's good to tell um, in your summary a brief description of what you do and what technologies you use or specialize in. Your
Yes.
location, Cameroon, and your contact information. Um, a picture is always good, just because people are more responsive to pictures. It's like it makes you more real. Like I I feel better that you're taking your repo your profile seriously. Um, may I ask why you use this particular picture?
Just because I like it, just for I
Okay,
just like this image. Just I just like this image. Just
okay.
for a specific reason.
Well, that's good. Let me go back to the overview. At least you have a picture. Um, and I may be telling you things that you're not aware of, but um, you can see your contribution activity, and it's they use data visualization to represent your commits,
Solutions, commit, yes.
right? And if I know that you're not looking for a job, you're good. But if you were, you want to be busy. You want to have green boxes all over the place.
Whoa,
So
a new value. So I
awesome.
I didn't have a word in English to explain it, but I can be
You explained it
more
very well, actually, and I relate. Um, it's it's great being able to build things and provide solutions, isn't it?
yes, exactly.
Like most jobs, you're just learning how to do something. You're not learning how to use your skill set to make something new or to make an advancement on something. You're just trained on how to keep doing the same thing over and over. And we get to build new things, which is awesome. but I found the repo I was talking about. Um,
Okay, PlayOS.
yes, and again, he has great documentation. It tells you exactly what it does, gives you screenshots, but I really want you to see his profile. Professional picture of himself. He just is very brief. JavaScript, web, and blockchain.
Yes.
So that's all he wants you to know. Link to his website, um, which is his portfolio, his location, the Netherlands, an email address. But look at his contribution activity. You see how this is all lit up in green?
Yes, yes, I can see.
Then he's had code reviews, he's had pull requests. Do you use GitHub a lot? Do you know what these terms are?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
No everything here.
Uh, I don't know
I said
anybody
I'm
who.
I said I'm working at a tech company, so all this stuff I include on our process I include on development process.
All
So
these
I know
Git commands.
everything on this. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, because I mean, Git can be used anywhere, not just GitHub, and Git commands all work the same.
Yes,
And
exactly.
right, it's important to know how to use them properly when collaborating. Um, and this is a collaborative effort. Uh, he has like 5 projects that he's a contributor of. And again, you can just mouse over and see, some insight about him. But this is a very well done profile. And there's only one pinned repo out of his 32 because this is what he wants you to focus on.
Okay, 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 okay. Thanks. Okay.
Um, Now you can click repos, repositories, and see all the rest of them. But yeah, so that's just a tip. You feel like language is a barrier for you in programming?
Not really a barrier because I have the difficulty for me is just to talk. It's just about talking, about speaking, but
To other
writing,
people?
please.
Pavel tells me that he can read English and write English very well, but he feels like it's difficult speaking it.
I was going to tell you about a fellow student at my coding boot camp was from China. Like within the past 2 years, she immigrated from China, and Mandarin is her first language, and she still had her keyboard and everything set up in like Chinese, and she had to withdraw and start at a later boot camp session because she said it was too hard with the language barrier. She doesn't speak English that well. She doesn't understand, the instructor's lectures that well, and then trying to learn these difficult languages, it was just too much, too much. So I'm glad that the language wasn't a barrier, or isn't a barrier for you. But yeah, English speaking people should really be grateful and take advantage of that. They don't have to learn another language of the tongue and then learn programming languages.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Um, but I I have to be honest. I'm very happy to see people of to see fellow Black people doing this and being so excellent at it. And I'm very proud of you, and you inspire
Thanks.
me.
Thanks, thanks.
Um, do you plan on staying in Cameroon, or do you aspire to work somewhere else or for a specific company? Or are you happy where you are?
Pavel tells me that although he would love to travel and explore opportunities at big companies such as Google or Facebook, he wants to work on self improvement, like improving his English, getting even better, I guess, at programming. But yeah, that's what he said.